Today in Grandstand, we're in Manchester for the Olympic trials. Britain's sprinters go head-to-head. The world's best golfers tune up for the Open Championship. It's third round day at Loch Lomond. Top-class flat racing comes from Ascot. We've got 3 live races. And just before 1, we'll start the biggest mile ever. It's Sport Relief Day. Welcome to Manchester, and wherever you are in the country today, you shouldn't be too far away from a Sport Relief Mile. Over 70,000 people will already be limbering up as they hope to raise millions of pounds alongside some of the great and the good from sport. Well, we'll be taking you around some of the venues to give you a little flavour of what's been going on, and we'll be doing our bit here in Manchester as well. But over the next 2 days, the main business here is, of course, the Olympic trials. And with just the first 2 past the post being guaranteed their places in Athens, all eyes this afternoon will be on the men's 100 metres, where there are at least 4 major contenders. The athletics is coming to you at around 4:30, but ahead of all of that, we'll be up in Scotland. Steve Ryder is at the Scottish Open.
It's very bad etiquette to run on a golf course, which is one of the problems that we're struggling to overcome on this Sport Relief Day. But whichever mile you cover here at Loch Lomond, it's a pleasure, not a plod. And a little bit later, the generous golfers on the European Tour will be presenting a nice fat cheque to Sport Relief. That comes a little later in this third round of the Barclays Scottish Open. As for covering the extra mile, well, the extra millimetre would have been very nice for Colin Montgomery yesterday, but he's still one of 23 players within 4 shots of Gregory Havray's halfway lead. We'll have our first coverage at 1:10 but first of all, let's go a few extra miles south to Rishi at Ascot.
Well, a mile plays a crucial role here today at Ascot because our big race, the Michael Page International Silver Trophy, is run over the Old Mile. Now, all eyes will be on Tillman. He's 8 years old. He's the oldest horse in the race. He won it last year. The question is he still good enough? But it's more than just about horse racing today. It's about Sport Relief. And I've got my red sock on. Steve, have you?
Rishi, I never divulge my underwear, or indeed the colour of my socks, although it has to be said here in Manchester, of course, red, a very popular colour. But today we're on the blue side of town. Behind me, you can probably see the City of Manchester Stadium, home of Manchester City, and of course, that was where the Commonwealth Games were held just a couple of years ago. We're at what is now the venue for the Olympic trials, the former warm-up track for those Commonwealth Games, and of course, that's our main athletics action this afternoon. Let's see where that fits into the programme. Well, with Olympics on our mind, the first thing we'll be going to is Road to Athens. That's coming up. I don't think she'll need that much help this weekend. Should be fairly much plain sailing for Kelly. Well, that's it for Road to Athens this week. Well, there'll be no show next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, where, amongst other things, I'll be chatting to Paula Radcliffe at a training base in Font-Romeu. Well, we've been waiting for this moment for a long time. It's Sport Relief Day and the miles are very, very close now. Over 70,000 people taking part in the Fitness First Sport Relief Mile at various locations right around the country. I'm joined now by Colin Jackson, who's already been doing a little bit of work in your Sport Relief t-shirt. There should be, as I said, many people dressed like that as we speak, limbering up, ready to go, and maybe they'll want to run on a day like this. It's a little bit chilly. But Colin, you've been very much involved in it right from the start.
Right from the start. I've been very fortunate. One of the stars has been able to go and see how everything is done, how it's actually made, how we've spent the money and how we've raised the money, which I think is a great thing.
Well, last time 2 years ago, £14.5 million was raised for Sport Relief. Half the money spent at projects around the world, half the money spent on sport-based projects here in the UK, and we're hoping to do a little bit better than that today.
We definitely do. I'm hoping that it'll be an extra 10 million on top of that. Do you think I'm asking for too much? 24 million, is that enough?
Sounds a lot.
It sounds a lot, but I'm thinking the British public, no, when they see the films and everything, how we spent the money and what we intend to do with the money, I think they'll be behind us fully.
Well, the reason for the mile, of course, it's this year was the 50th anniversary of Sir Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile, so it seemed like a good idea to get lots of people out there and have a go. You were one of them, yeah. And today you ran in a pretty much a special event, didn't you?
We did. We put one on right here at the Olympic Stadium here. It was great. I think the kids were really enjoyed it, really enthusiastic. And for me, that's the second one I've done. And as a sprinter, you know that's not a good idea.
second one. The first one, though, there was a few important people there, weren't there? You ran with the Prime Minister, didn't you? Checkers.
Yeah, very good, and it was so good. I think he was absolutely tremendous. As you see, we're all lined up there, big smiles. The weather was a little bit nicer there, I must admit, but the kids were full of enthusiasm, full of passion. Who else was there?
Steve
Redgrave was there, you can see there, and I think everybody just totally enjoyed the whole atmosphere, the whole feel of it. Prime Minister's got big smiles, and I think, you know, it's the first time he was a bit nervous, I think, about running with us lot. So I think we put him right. He's all right.
Now, be honest, did you have to wait for him, or was he waiting for you? You were behind him there.
He was a little bit anxious, but I did remind him that hurdles was my event.
Well, there are all sorts of events up and down the country. There are about 140 small events, but there are 14 main events from London, of course, in Newcastle, a place like Blackpool. But the first place we're going to visit is Edinburgh. Now, CBBC are covering the event all day today, and I know that up there at the moment waiting to talk to us there is Abs and Rani, and I think they've got Nikki Campbell and Angelica Bell with them.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're just about to be on air. Here we are. It's Edinburgh. Hello. How good is that? Thank you very much, Colin. Cheers, Cram. We're here. Turn around.
Come and find us.
We've got all these people. They're all looking to get involved in sport relief. We're going to be live on the CBBC channel all afternoon.
We certainly are. So if you live anywhere near or in Edinburgh, pop along and see us, because every penny counts today.
It certainly does. We think we're going to have the fastest sport relief mile as well. The RAF Falcons are going to be jumping out of a plane, so we think that we're going to break the record.
And we have the only walking, talking Scottish pasty, Simon Grant. Why are you dressed like that, darling?
The CBBC viewers voted for me to be dressed like this today. I'm doing it for you and Sport Relief as well, of course.
Well done, you.
Now, you've got your presenting partner here as well from the Saturday show, Angelica Bell. Looking very pretty.
Thank you.
Now, you're taking it quite seriously today, aren't you?
Well, not seriously. I'm going to be running with Otis, and we're looking to get a time of about 6.5, 7 minutes. But I hear there's no markers en route, so we're going to have to go by how we feel and stuff like that. But it's good. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it properly, I think.
Excellent. And keeping an eye on things, the old watchdog himself, it's Nikki Campbell.
A bit less of the old piece. That's for after the race.
The joints and stuff are still working there, Nikki.
I beg your pardon. So anyway, we've got the. There's no drug test, is there?
No, I don't think so. You'll be fine.
We've got a lot of good work to do here, because a small amount of money for sport relief makes a huge amount of difference for a child in Africa, but it's not, or elsewhere in the world. But it's not just elsewhere in the world. It's not far from here in Easterhouse in Glasgow. There are huge problems, and a lot of the money is going to be going there to make a better life through the unifying spirit of sport for young people, which is fantastic.
I mean, it's a fantastic event. We're going to have a great time here at Murrayfield Stadium.
Now then, let's find out what's happening in Cardiff.
Yes, welcome to Blackweir Park in Cardiff. We're expecting around 2,000 runners here. As you can see, the party's already underway. We're getting a warm-up with the dancers on stage. I've even got Jeff Banks dancing here, because, Jeff, you've just completed a marathon bike ride, haven't you, for Sport Relief? How's that?
Yeah, 900 miles Land's End to John O'Groats in 6 days. So I was doing about 150 miles a day, which was brilliant. I mean, people honking their horn. One lady in a red Porsche did a big U-turn in Scotland and came back and bunged a wodge load of £20 notes in my hand.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Ken Bruce wound them all up on the radio, and she came out and just gave me all this dough. You know, it's had a great night out. No, I gave it to Sport Relief.
Great bike you got here as well. How light is this thing?
It weighs just 14 pounds, and at times I needed it. When I was flagging, the extra lack of pounds actually helped enormously. So, yeah, it was good.
Well, alongside you, we've got Jonathan Davis.
Yeah.
Jonathan, I've been doing some research, and colleagues at the BBC tell me the last time you ran a mile was 1984. Is this true, sir?
No, I've done a bit of running, trying to, keep the weight off. But, that's the purpose of today. A mile is nothing, really. And anyone who's here can walk it, jog it, walk it backwards. It's just a fun event that raises as much money as we possibly can.
It was when the bookies were after him.
Yeah. I've seen lots of people here today who look like fit runners, but we've also got some youngsters as well. That's what it's all about. They're taking part, isn't it?
That's all. Yeah. Look, Jeff's just done 900 miles on his bike, and now he's come here again today, and it's just get the people out, do that extra mile. That's what it's all about, and we've got to thank everyone all over the country who's participating in this. We're all doing it for the same cause, just to raise money and have a laugh.
When I got to John O'Groats, I did an extra mile then, and I had a sign set up, and I got off my bike, changed my shoes, and started running a mile. And 60 people joined in with me to run the extra mile. I mean, it was fantastic. Yeah, just to encourage me. It was brilliant.
Just finally, Jeff, as far as the fashion is concerned, pretty dapper outfit there.
Well, it's got to be tight lycra, and it's like And I've actually got fake six-packs embroidered into this.
And is it true?
This isn't really me.
Have you got one of these Lycra outfits for Jonathan Davis?
At the moment, no. I got a barrel, not a six-pack. It's gone now.
And are you actually going to be looking at your duration today, your time?
I'm going to do the time mile first to see how fit I am, and then I'll just walk it the next mile, the freestylers, with my wife and my 1-year-old daughter Molly in the pushchair. So I was just trying to make the most of it.
I'll give you 100 quid if you can do it in under 4 minutes, Jonathan.
There you are, here live on BBC television. Jeff, Jonathan, thank you very much indeed. We're going to have a great time here. On the stage, they're doing the warm-up, so we're going to warm up for our race. Lots of people here raising money for Sport Relief. It's going to be a great day here in Cardiff. Now, let's go to Denise Watson in Belfast.
Welcome to Ormeau Park in Belfast. And I tell you what, our celebrity miler Craig Doyle has had a race to get here, haven't you?
I'm already shattered. I've made it by about 2 minutes. Sorry about the stress there, but I don't like to be early for things, due to being quite lazy. Don't know why I'm about to run a mile though. I haven't run in ages, but it seems like good crack here. Big crowd here. They're all very keen on the start line there, aren't they?
Well, talk about the Irish being laid back, Craig, but leaving it to 2 minutes to do this.
You know the way. No, it's great. I couldn't wait to get up here actually, because it's a really good atmosphere here, and there's a huge crowd getting ready to run, and loads of people have come out and made loads of money. The Clan Éireann, a Gaelic football team, which is a sport I'm not even going to try to explain to most people out there. They've raised a load of money. What did you actually do to raise all this cash?
We had a big event. We played the BBC All Stars last Tuesday night, and it was a major event for Clan Éireann, and the ladies, as usual, are always up there front to do all the fundraising.
Can I just say, Craig, the ladies beat the guys.
Come on. Well, these little freaks of nature happen now and again. You know what I mean? Look at that, nearly 4 grand. That's fantastic. Very happy with yourselves?
Yep, definitely.
There you go. They're a bit cold, I think, at the moment.
A lot of people looking around for you today because they want to run after you. You're going to set an example, Craig.
I do. I plan on breaking the hour. Very excited about that. I see the Prime Minister made 8:30 yesterday, so if I can break that, I'd be happy. That's the plan.
I've heard you're a keen rugby player. It'll not be a problem to you?
I haven't played rugby in a while. I do run a bit actually, but it's been a while. I had a terrible incident in Australia where I tore some ligaments dancing after a World Cup match, so I haven't been running since then. I haven't been dancing since then, but that's probably just as well.
Just tell us why you were so late today. Was it car trouble?
Do you know something? There's a big Gaelic football match on in Dublin this weekend, and the traffic is really building up. Something to do with this lot here. Armagh are playing this weekend, and they're down there and they're getting all very excited about that, so the traffic built up a bit. You know?
There's a great atmosphere in the park as well. Everybody up dancing, karaoke as well.
Is there karaoke? Where? I'll run straight to that. There is. Well, everyone loves this kind of thing up here, you know. There's a great atmosphere for it, you know. And it isn't the warmest of days, I have to say. I woke up this morning, the sun was belting out, but it's disappeared. But sure, after a mile, we'll all be sweating profusely anyway, no doubt.
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much, Craig. Don't give me that heart race again. We'll hand over now to John Inverdale in London.
Well, isn't this how the embankment in London always ought to look? A clear mile all the way to the Houses of Parliament. I don't know who parked that car there, but anyway, if you turn the camera around there, you can see just the 10,000 people taking part in the biggest single mile taking place today for Sport Relief. I say marathons because we're used to that kind of mass participation sport here, but not miles. But if we're talking about mass participation miles, Sebastian Coe, former world, don't do that yet, please. I know what sort of noise that makes. Mass participation miles, is this the future?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, there's 70,000 people throughout the country, 10,000 people standing behind us at the moment. So, unbelievable.
What was your world record, 340 something?
347 and little bits.
And what
long
do you think
time ago.
Yeah, so that's 20 odd years ago, wasn't it? No, in fact, 23 years ago. So what do you think you can do it in now?
I've got a calendar I'm going to time myself by today. I don't know, if I got round in sort of 6 minutes or something like that, I'd be very happy.
Modesty. Now, somebody who's not modest, or not known for his modesty, Gordon Ramsay. Now, obviously diet is key for highly tuned athletes like yourself. So what did you have last night?
What did I have? Well, the chefs are the world's worst eaters, so I grazed all night long last night, picking at sort of lots of bits and bobs. Light breakfast this morning, but feeling somewhat energetic.
You have run London marathons,
yes.
So you know you are more of a kind of a staying chaser,
yes,
as opposed to a 5 furlong sprinter. So what about this?
Well, it's called a donkey. At 15 stone, it's not easy to run 26 miles, but this is the worst part of the marathon with 1 mile to go. But today we haven't got 25 miles behind us. We've only got one exciting, fast mile.
Absolutely. Now listen, show us your sock.
Yes.
Now, see, here's my sock as well. And the thing about socks is, as you know, everybody in Sport Relief has a red sock. Now here's a red sock, and as we work progressively up this finely tuned athlete, we find Prince William and his brother Harry next door to him. We'll talk to Harry in a moment about his unfortunate injury that prevents him running. Yeah. But you obviously are in tip-top, optimum condition.
definitely, John. I've been training for about 2 minutes, actually. I've run around the block and I'm feeling a little bit looser now, but I'm still training.
I assume at school you must have run a few marathons, a few miles, rather.
I've run a few miles in my time, yeah, no, not very well. I used to do a bit of cross-country here and there, but apart from that, it's pretty bad. Stuck in the swimming pool, better at that.
Well, obviously it's a water polo and things. What do you think your peak performance in a mile might be? 6 minutes-ish?
6 minutes would be, yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be good. On a good day, maybe. Today, a bit of wind resistance, maybe a bit longer than that.
Yeah. Now, of course, the sibling rivalry, sadly, has been put on hold until the next Sport Relief Mile, because, Harry, you're wimping out.
I am wimping out, John. I'm injured.
Tell us what happened.
Long story.
I took
How long?
over, so he wouldn't beat me, that's why.
If you were running, do you think you'd beat him?
Probably not. It'd be pretty close. But it's not a fast run. It's a nice leisurely run down the river. Take our time.
The thing is, of course, you know that if you've got even the slightest competitive instinct in you, you would have wanted to beat him. And brothers are like that.
Huge brother rivalry. Don't worry about that. There's plenty of brother rivalry.
And joking aside, this is just great, isn't it? It's a great sight.
No, it's brilliant. It's awesome to see so many people out and about and going all over the country as well. It's just brilliant.
I mentioned the car down there. You're going in the car, aren't you? So actually, you might beat him to the end. How's that for cheating? I mean, come on. All right, well, we'll let you go that way. And just one other person we must talk to. Okay, I'll go this way. After you. No, after you. After you. No, after you. No, after you. Patrick Kielty. You're obviously a key man tonight as far as the live show is concerned, but this is the best way possible to warm up for it.
Yeah, I think it is, and I'm just glad that William has decided for the race. Harry actually confessed before the cameras came on that it really is a fake injury because he doesn't. No, he actually is injured. He's in the car. This man is playing 6 minutes. Which is scaring. Ramsey's saying 5. I'm kind of hoping to maybe be finishing the mile before the live show starts tonight at 7 o'clock. So,
listen, the challenge has been thrown down to William and to Patrick and to Gordon and to all the rest behind them in this first race. 6 minutes is the target. No pressure, okay? Now, somebody up there who, 23 years ago, did break the world record that stood for 20-odd years, is going to start this race. So up there to start the first of the embankment miles for Sport Relief, Sebastian Coe.
Hello? Oh, it is working. It's this one, not that one. Never give a politician an hour to make a speech in. Can I just, first of all, before you all go off and run, these things don't happen by happy accident, and I'd just like to thank Fitness First, BBC, DHL, John Inverdale, who I've just persuaded to run and speak at the same time on a microphone. And just simply to say, this is a fantastic turnout. There are 10,000 people here today, 70,000 throughout the country. Don't tell me that we're not passionate about sport. On your marks. Get set.
I think there's about 150 or so in this first race. It looks a bit more than that, I must say, getting on for 200. And in 5 minutes' time or so, 2,500 will go in the next race. And in the next race, there are some serious runners who are out to actually try and run some good times. And we're talking about some of the athletes in the next race are hoping to be around the 4 minute 20 category. But of course, the whole point about this event is it is the taking part. In that old Corinthian, Olympian kind of way, it is the taking part that counts. So there they go, heading off down the embankment towards the House of Parliament. Of course, Tony Blair ran yesterday his Sport Relief Mile, and he in 8 minutes 30, which was a very creditable time. We'll let them head off down towards the Commons and the Lords and Westminster Bridge and come back and join us in a few minutes' time.
Underway in London, and a similar story around the country. At Murrayfield, the race is away. Some of them running, some of them walking rather slowly. Are they sure they've got their red sock on there? And a great sight to see. 14 major events up and down the UK, 140 smaller events. In fact, up in Scotland, the most northerly event is actually up at the Shetlands. And this is where Colin Jackson should be, down in Cardiff. Blackweir Park. Away they go. Jonathan Davis down there. We saw Jeff Banks as well, one or two other famous faces. You will have run that grass a few times, Colin?
I have, actually. It's very rare, actually, to see me there, but it wasn't too far from where I used to do my weight training, so it was a good venue to warm down. Nice crowd there, actually, and the weather looks a little bit better than here, I think.
Well, that was Cardiff, and then over in Belfast, a similar story. Great to see so many people out. And Craig Doyle, who will of course be part of our presentation team at the Olympics, getting his kit on today and leading thousands of people off around the park in Belfast. So good to see so many people out there, raising money of course, but having fun as well. Well, not to be outdone this morning here at Manchester. Those of us who had time to don our kit, along with a few youngsters from the local schools, set off on our own special Sport Relief Mile. Colin was in there somewhere. I think he's at the back. Is that right, Colin?
I am, actually, right at the back, making sure everybody comes through safely and sound.
Stuart Story with his kit on. Even Dave Gordon, the boss, he was out there as well. And the kids all having fun. Well, that's a picture that's been repeated right around the country today. As I said, over 70,000 people running their Sport Relief Mile. Well, of course, we're hoping to raise, well, as Colin said, as much as £24 million today. So let's remind ourselves what this is all about.
This is a railway boy, and this is his world. Imagine having no family and no friends. Imagine never being told you're worth anything to anyone. Imagine feeling as if the world has forgotten you exist. Imagine not even knowing how old you are. Imagine feeling this terrible, utter emptiness and rejection every day. Well, this is his life. This is all it is. And he's just a boy. That's not a phone next to you. It's a bloody lifeline. Please call 08457 910 910. Thank you.
Thank you indeed, and of course any help you can give to the Sport Relief campaign today would be greatly appreciated. That film, of course, telling us one or two of the stories, but I know, Colin, you've been very heavily involved, and have you had the chance to visit one or two projects?
I have indeed. I went to one project called Kids Company, which is very inspirational for me to see these guys, what they're coming through and what they're actually battling for, and actually see them coming through and actually enjoying the support that we're giving them. And many of them actually coming back and saying thank you. I mean, that's one of the best things ever.
I went to a project with Michael Johnson last summer in London, where I think in Fitzrovia in London, where they're just using football to get kids. I mean, there's a bit of sort of animosity between one or two of the different communities there. Now they're all hanging out together. It's just great to see sport being used. All the projects in the UK, we're trying to use sport as a vehicle to help youngsters.
And that is one of the key things. If you think what sport actually does to everybody, when everybody sees people with a big smile, that's what it's all about. And that's exactly what sport can give people. A powerful feeling of happiness and a little bit of competition, which is always a little bit healthy.
Well, it's helped you as well. As when you've had a couple of miles the last couple of days. What's your best time?
8:10.
8:10. I think you'd still be running. Well, back down in London, we saw them starting a few minutes ago. Let's have a look at how they finished it off down on the embankment down there. Well, pretty good form being shown there by Prince William. A big kick finish, and afterwards he spoke to Cunny Hawk.
Right, I'm with
very exhausted people over here. Patrick Kielty, Prince William and Gordon Ramsay. Now, Gordon, you were second through the line. How do you feel?
I feel fine, it was great. Nice and warm, ready for another one now, really.
Were there many expletives on the way round? We thought you might be swearing a bit.
I'll just take that cosmo out my ears now. No, not really, no.
Okay, none now though.
Except from Patrick.
Because you are live. Okay, nothing to be repeated, but were you pleased with your time? Do you have an official
It was a great turnout.
time?
5:40 I think it was.
5:40, congratulations. Now, next door, Prince William, you wanted to get a time of 6 minutes. You got 6:10. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I'm pleased about that. I could have done a bit more, but it's okay. I had him chatting to me the whole way, so I had to get away from you, so.
So it was distraction from Mr. Kielty, was it? So will you be jogging back home to Clarence House?
I think not somehow. I think I might drag myself in the car somewhere and drive home.
Oh yeah, well, look, you're huffing and puffing. And did your granny sponsor you? That's what everyone wants to know.
Well, we've made a whole contribution, all the Clarence House team, so we'll probably go and get some off her as well, I reckon.
So you've raised quite a lot
We've
of
raised quite a bit of money.
That's good news.
It's good news.
Now, I know that you're very keen to get your sports relief socks.
Definitely am.
So those are your sports relief socks. Will you be wearing them with pride?
I will be wearing them with pride, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, and also the sports relief cap. Maybe you could pop that on for us all later.
Definitely.
And have you got anything to say to Harry? Because he did have a bit of an injury.
He's very, it's very sad that Harry couldn't make it today, but frankly, if he had been here, he'd have done it probably much quicker than me and I'd have looked really silly, so.
Do you think it could have been a competitive thing that made him pull out?
Oh, well, he's big brother, he's a bit worried about it, that's what it is, exactly.
Maybe he overtrained. Well, we do have some sports relief socks for him.
Thank you very much. I'll keep this as well then.
Well, congratulations on your 6 minutes, and well done to you as well, Patrick Taylor. You're just behind there.
You know what, right? The thing that annoys me, right, is that at half a mile, right, he turned around and he went, I'm knackered, right? And I went, so am I, we'll stick together. So we come all the way up, right to the finish, just like 10 yards from there, and he goes, see ya!
He's a hustler, it's Prince William.
It was good, that was good work. Very happy with that.
That's one.
Well, congratulations to both of you, and I shall hand over now to John Inverdale for another mile.
Very exciting here. They've come from all over the country to take part in these miles. They've come from Guernsey. You can see the flag there. This is the first of the 4 mass participation ones. There's 2,500 in each. Sebastian Coe is actually running in this one, and I've got to tell you, 5:58, the winner of the last one.
Not a prayer. 6:58. These guys are on a flyer.
Really? What's your name? Tom, what do you...
Off now.
No, you're not. The big challenge for you, this is the greatest miler in the history of the whole event. If you can beat him today, he will put an extra 50 quid into the sport relief pot, okay?
Done.
Well, we might just have to help you through.
Anyway, now this event is being started by a phenomenal athlete in his own right, one of the great supporters of Sport Relief over the last 3 years, Mr. Nick Hancock. Nick.
Thank you. Right, everybody, fantastic support here today, fantastic support across the country. Are you ready to start? Count us down. Are we ready to count? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, there they go then, along the embankment. Sebastian Coe at the front there. He's not often at the front these days, and quickly passed by 1 or 2 youngsters I can see. 10,000 people in the London event. They're going to go in 4 different waves of 2,500. Fantastic to see so many people there. And as I said, this sight being repeated all over the country today. The sun's shining for them down there as well. Well, of course, the mile race is not what everything is about.